When you go through something like this, you learn to appreciate the little things in life.
You always consider it's somebody else's child that something's going to happen to. It's never yours.
As hard as it is to see her go through chemo, if we didn't have it, I probably wouldn't have her here today.
There's been a tremendous improvement in the quality of life and the curability of children and adults with cancer. The only answer is to be more committed to research.
There's not a parent alive who would not support the research when the cancer touches their own child.
People would ask me, gee, you know, I'd like to get something for Kurt, and what do you think he would really like? I would start to cry because what he wanted was to swallow. And he was optimistic. He goes, Mom, I'm gonna swallow one day.
Katie never wavered in her spirit, even when we get a setback.
A person who can understand everything and live through anything and can completely live through all the hurt and pain through life. I think that's what a hero is.
Katie has a type of bone cancer called osteosarcoma. What happened was Katie was very athletic, and one day during a soccer game, she came up limping.
But I didn't want to be pulled out because, you know, I felt, you know, it was laying my team down. So I kept playing. Well, later on that week, my knee started to throb. It really hurt. And this went on for a good 3 weeks.
We finally took her to the family doctor, where they took an x-ray. And at that time, the doctor said, I'd like to refer Katie to an orthopedic surgeon.
He looked at the films, and he came up to me, he hugged me, and he said I had cancer.
She immediately looked at the both of us and started to cry. And then she said, you know what, Mom? I'm gonna beat this.
When I thought I was gonna die, the first time they told me, I came up with 10 things that I wanted to do. One of the things was I wanted to accomplish to attend a law school. Since I was 10 years old, I've always been wanting to be a lawyer. And all of you have helped me to live my dreams.
She believes that as long as there's a crack open, we may be able to fit through. And I believe that too. From the moment we stepped into the hospital, we have had a multitude of people who have been there for Katie and I.
I have to tell you something in your ear. Have you been driving recently?
No.
She did really good.
I'll see you guys.
The hospital was getting ready to have a gala to raise money for the oncology group. In this gala, they had invited Jamie Lee Curtis to be the chairperson.
She wanted me to go to the gala with her, but I couldn't because I had chemo that night. Instead of me going, I decided to let her wear my pink wig.
She wore it all night long, and she reminded everyone throughout the night why Katie could not be there, and that wig was a reminder of what these kids had to endure on a daily basis. I believe there's a lot of good people out there working very hard. I believe there's a lot of great breakthroughs just on the cusp. And so, like I say to her, hang in there, kiddo.
If we can find the cause of the cancer, we may be able to find a targeted therapy that only goes to the cancer cells. We need a magic bullet.
I think over the next 10, 15 years, there's going to be a lot of new drugs with fewer side effects, with more specific action. And so every little bit helps, especially when researchers are competing day and night for funds.
Last year alone, for every governmental dollar spent on research, less than a penny goes to pediatric cancer research.
People say kids are the future. Well, if that's true, they should put their money towards where it counts. If the Katie Fund does exactly as I hope it does, eventually we will find a cure. And even though I may not be able to practice law, and I may not be here in the next 2 years. I know that the Katie Fund will provide the help that kids need.